Okay, y'all, I'm on a tear around nutrient-dense food that we know our ancestors ate all the time and created extraordinarily healthy human beings all over the world. And we have been faltering for probably, over 100 years anyhow. And I am just determined to turn that tide. And you're part of it. You have got to begin to understand what I understand. And I think when you do, you're going to be inspired to change some things. So on the level of nutrient-dense foods, there are two that are, again, common in all ancestral villages that the mother always knew was incredibly healing. And one is bone broth, and I'm sure you've been hearing about bone broth because it's all over the place. Bone broth or meat broth. Now, often people with that tend to get migraines and whatnot, bone broth often is too high in a chemical called glutamine, and that can actually inspire a migraine. So for some people, it's best to just start with a good old meat broth, meaning put the whole chicken in a pot and cook it with some onions and garlic and celery and carrots kind of thing. Make the old-fashioned chicken soup. And you're right, the old-fashioned chicken soup is associated with tremendous amount of vibrant health. And you can do the same with beef or with turkey, any of that, meat and bones. Fabulous. Make a big pot, freeze it into ice cubes, put it in an ice cube tray, and then keep it in a baggie in the freezer so you can use little bits to heat up, use with cooking your vegetables and things like that. This is a way, there are so many nutrients in that soup that work towards building a very strong child. And the other food that's very much associated that all cultures have always had is raw fermented food. So in Germany it was raw sauerkraut, and Northern European, but in every culture there's pickles. The Asians have their pickles. You've got kimchi. You've got, I just can't go into it. Whatever your ancestry is, take a look at it, because they all have pickled something. And it's raw, all right? They did not heat it up at high temperature. And, when I first started learning about this, it's like, there is no way I'm gonna sit and do canning in my kitchen. But you don't have to. It dawned on me, wait. They didn't have canning jars back then. They had water and salt, and that's all it is. You just slice up a whole bunch of cabbage, throw some salt on, toss it around, let it sit there for a bit. Cabbage starts getting juicy. You beat the heck out of it. It's great. Get all your aggression out and get the juices flowing. Cram it into jars and then throw it in a cupboard for 7 days, and you've got homemade sauerkraut. Or you just take salt and water and throw in some cucumber and some other seasonings, whatever. Leave it for a week. You've got raw, yummy pickles. So all of that is in my resource section for you. Click on the link near this video and you can run over to my resource section and find my recipes for pickle anything and simple sauerkraut. All right, have a good one. Ciao.